Who's a sneaky good pick for first round? Who do you think would be a great value pick for a Thursday night, which is a nice phrase, meaning somebody who's either a sleeper or comes up and is chosen in a spot that's lower than you think his talent level should have him.
Yeah, the guy, Rich, that I keep going back to is Hayden Hurst out of South Carolina, tight end who played minor league baseball, got the yips, couldn't cut it as a pitcher, ends up playing tight end for South Carolina, and very, very good player. He's a little bit older, but a team like the Baltimore Ravens, where they could just plug him in at tight end, it's more of a finished product, so you don't care about the fact that he's 25 years old because he's going to get on the field right away and hopefully give you something in the middle of the field. I mean, they're signing every receiver they can to try to fill a need there, which makes me think that they could really go tight end to try to give Joe Flacco that guy he hasn't had since Todd Heap was out there running around.
What about defensively, on the defensive side of the ball?
Defensively, yeah, I think that you can look at someone like Arden Key as probably the biggest wild card and the question mark coming out of LSU. Played at 280 pounds this year. He also played at 235 pounds this year. So he's a really hard guy to gauge where he's going to go. It might not be Thursday night. It might be Friday because of some off-field questions. But if you go back to 2016, when he was at a good playing weight and when he was locked in, he was one of the best defensive ends in the country. So he's a really intriguing name to watch. Is a guy that our team's going to bet on his talent at the end of the first round, or will they be scared off and we'll hear his name called on Friday?
Last one for you, Matt Miller, Bleacher Report. How many quarterbacks go in the first round in a couple of nights when it all comes down to it?
Man,
what do you think?
I wish I knew the answer because I think the over/under is at 5.5. So I would say 6. I think Lamar Jackson's locked to go round 1, and we'll see Mason Rudolph. I could absolutely see a team like New England or the New Orleans Saints wanting to get that quarterback of the future and also wanting to get him for 5 years, especially after watching Jimmy Garoppolo leave a little bit earlier than they probably would have liked. Now you can get a guy that you can lock in for a full 5 years. And I don't know, I think Tom Brady will probably be done playing by then, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
No, but I think you make a good point, Matt, and that's something that we've rarely heard brought up when we hear Lamar Jackson's going to fall out of the first round, that somebody would definitely knock on Philadelphia's door 32nd overall to whatever draft capital is required to get up there to make sure that you get him for a 5th year as opposed to falling into the second round into Jimmy Garoppolo territory. I think that's a smart, shrewd analysis of why Lamar Jackson is definitely not going to drop to round number 2.
Yeah, and Philly doesn't have a pick in round 2 or 3, so they're going to be motivated to trade back, I think, and recoup some of that capital they've traded off to build this incredible roster they have. So that's probably the most likely trade to watch for.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.